Patient.
That's the word. See, now he's just got me so off track. So this is Denton Skinner, everyone. And we're going to talk about, a couple of things. And one thing is like depression for a man is a really big thing. And depression for anyone is a really big thing.
It sure is, yep.
And you've gone through triple bypass.
I have, yep.
Heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
You've lived through that.
Yep.
So let's just go way back. So you are from Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, yep, yep.
And you came out here in the 90s?
Yep, in fact it was 1990.
1990 with your wife and 2 children?
And 2 young children, yep.
So let's go back to when you lived in Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
What was life like for you? What sort of field of work were you in?
Well, cut a long story short, I went to boarding school. Then I wanted to be a game warden. And unfortunately, This was my dream job because, I mean, we had fantastic animals and the wildlife and everything was spectacular.
Living in Zimbabwe,
beautiful country, it really was in those days. And I wanted to be a game warden. So I left school, I applied for a job as a game warden. I got a reply and I almost fell to the ground. There was no vacancies and it almost broke my heart. So I thought, well, what do I do now?
How old were you then?
About 16.
Wow.
Now, we had compulsory national service in those days because the war had just started. And
were you born in Zimbabwe?
I was actually born in northern Rhodesia, which is now Zambia, just one country north. Okay. So it's a bit like Victoria, New South Wales, Brisbane. So South Africa, Zimbabwe, and then Zambia. So I was born, I came down to southern Rhodesia, then Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, then Zimbabwe, all these changes and everything. And so I couldn't get a job as a game warden. I thought, okay, look, I'll go and get my national service done. I'll go into the army, 9 months training, and then I'll come out and review.
So everyone has to do that?
It was compulsory in those days, yes. Unless, of course, you were medically unfit, certified or something. So I went into the army. I went in to do my national service. And I tell you what, they try and break you. They're as mean as anything. You get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to polish your brasses, your boots, iron your hat and everything, and they tell you you look absolutely rubbish. So they literally try and break you. So after whatever period of time it was, the SAS came recruiting and I thought, aha, I'll give this a shot and this will be my ticket out of here. And lo and behold, I got into SAS.
Wow.
So that was an amazing...
I mean, that's good for you, you're saying, yeah.
A fantastic journey. And I had the most remarkable experience. So my life really has been very good. Living in a beautiful country, going to boarding school, great friends and everything, friendships, the army, life was good. And then unfortunately, in the army, I went into the medical corps and progressed from there. Then I left the army because the blacks had come in. Not that we were against the blacks, but it was people that we fought against were now integrated into the army.
So are we talking about native Zimbabweans?
Yes.
So, because to me, and I know a lot of people would go, oh, how could he say blacks? And I know it's all about being politically correct and all that.
It's nothing racist. I mean,
it's how you refer to them.
They were called Africans.
Yeah.
Africans was their proper name because they were from Africa. So they were Africans. So it's not like in America where they call them nigger or offensive things like that. But we had the blacks as servants. They were our servants, and we gave them jobs. We gave them, food hampers. Christmas, we gave them presents, and they were very well looked after. But unfortunately, when the government changed hands and Mugabe took over, there was somebody else before him, but when the blacks took over the country, they were very, very cruel to their own kind. So you cannot blame the whites because we looked after them, we gave them jobs. The blacks did not want to work for the blacks because they were just treated so meanly. Like minimum wage, that was all they got. No extras, no this. They were worked to the bone and everything. They were ruthless to one another. And it's terrible.
But I mean, this is because this is your perspective because you were born in Rhodesia.
Oh, sure.
So you are, Rhodesian. And this is your information. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here and I'm really sad that it has to be this conversation. Because I'm we are all equal. We're all beautiful
Oh,
people.
of course.
Our blood runs the same colour,
Yeah,
and you know, I'm not used to like the phrase where it's blacks and whites.
Oh,
and,
of course.
And
Well,
a lot of people would be offended with that.
Of course. You see, we were never like South Africa, because South Africa actually had apartheid, where they had buses for blacks and buses for whites, seats for blacks, seats for whites. So that was racism at its worst.
Yeah.
And we did not want to go to South Africa because we knew we'd be going from the frying pan into the fire. And sure enough, South Africa then became black and whatever. I have nothing against the blacks. Do you know, our servant, he had never been on a holiday, I think, for 10 years. His wife was in another country. He had not seen her for 10 or 14 years. So do you know what we did for him? We bought him a plane ticket to his country and return, and we set him up with some money. He had never been on a plane before in his life. This was amazing. He just loved it. And you know what? He came back from there and he bought us a bottle of whiskey and a pineapple. He brought us a pineapple because they grow them in Malawi.
Yeah.
It's like up in the Sunshine Coast and everything. And oh my goodness, you know, he was wonderful. Yeah. And God bless him, you know. You know, we were very kind to the black, you know, because we worked together. You know, it was a wonderful relationship. And, you know, we were very sad to leave them when we came over to Australia.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I did. I have 2 brothers and 2 stepsisters. My one brother is still in Zimbabwe now. My other brother is a vet in Newcastle in UK. I have a stepsister in Brisbane.
Crazy, isn't it?
Indeed.
Newcastle in the
So
UK.
it's Newcastle to Newcastle, but we're just the other side of the world.
Newcastle in New South Wales. So crazy, yeah. So
dear.
what did your parents do for work?
My dad was an accountant, and my mum worked in a travel agent. So yeah.
Okay, and was boarding school something that, you know, everyone where you lived kind of went to boarding school? Or?
A lot of people did, because my parents actually moved out of the country, so I had to go to boarding school. They went to Malawi my dad got a contract there. So I went to school, but unfortunately the initial school I went to, I had to change because the legislation was that they did not have people whose parents lived in that country going to that school. So I changed, but it was just a technicality. So I moved and I made new friends and had a wonderful school.
So did you meet your wife in Zimbabwe?
In Zimbabwe, yes. I was in the army then during my SAS days, and it was quite ironic because it was a block of units and there were 2 Sallys and 3 Trishes in these 3 units. So my wife was Trish, or my wife-to-be, my sister was Sally, and they were all friends. So I went over to see them one evening, and I met my future wife, and she worked in the laboratory, and she had to go to the lab. It was at night, so she had to go to the lab and check the specimens and everything. I said, look, I'll walk you there and everything. And that was it. That was the start of our romance.
The rest is history, as they say.
Indeed.
So, you were married and had children in Zimbabwe?
Yes.
And so how old were they when you actually came to Australia?
I think my daughter was 6 or 8, and my son was 4 or 6, so about that. They're about 2.5 years difference.
So it's been like a medical background for you and your wife?
Yes, because my wife had a medical background and I got my medical background in the army, yeah, which I since carried because then I went into medical repping. And as a medical rep, oh boy, that was another wonderful career for me, and I learned so much from an amazing manager, and he taught me so many things. And I dabbled in insurance as well, but then when we were immigrating to Australia, I thought, no, I'm not going to do insurance. I wanted to do medical repping, so I came over, and it took me about 6 months. We lived on the Central Coast, but I eventually got a position just through perseverance and guts and go and everything, and I got a job based up here in Newcastle.
So what was like, you know, when you first got to Australia, and you know, life, I mean, we're so different here than Zimbabwe.
Yep.
Like, what were the hurdles that you had to jump as far as, you know, just living, learning our cultures?
Look, it wasn't too difficult because, you know, climatically they're very similar in terms of what they call it, the latitude. we came over on a holiday prior to emigrating just to make sure that we liked it. But we all speak English, so that was easy. And yeah, we just wanted a better future for ourselves and, of course, our grandfamily.
So is that why you immigrated?
Oh, yes, definitely.
It's
yeah.
about the future.
About
for your
future,
children.
of course.
In what way? Like, what was the one thing that you kind of
look
at as being a negative to you, bringing children up and stuff like that?
We know, like a lot of countries, when certain people come into power, there is no democracy. You know, you have no rights. If you don't vote for them, they do unspeakable things to you. You know, it's terrible. It's like a communist-run country. And, you know, we didn't want a bar of that or anything. You know, we wanted freedom, democracy, and, you know, opportunities, you know. Because we knew once, you know, government change and everything, the country was just going to go downhill. And, boy, it's so sad to see Zimbabwe now. You know, politically, it's very unstable. There's a lot of crime because people don't have work. So they have to steal just to feed themselves and their families.
Oh, see, that's just...
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's too sad to even think about that, to contemplate, you know, that I know there are people starving all over the world.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
And, you know, I just wish that, you know, we could feed everyone. And I know there are ways that we could, and unfortunately, the powers to be have not produced that.
No.
So we can't save the world.
Look,
like, one person can't save the world, but you know, I'll give it a damn good try.
Yep,
with
indeed.
everything that I do, and that's about, you know, that's about being the person that you are and persevering, like you say. And you're very energetic, and you were like, you know, very happy and all that sort of stuff, because I met you some years ago and worked with you. And you know, I didn't realise that how depression, which is what you were coping with.
Yep, indeed.
How depression can really just rip families apart and rip your whole world apart. And especially, like, and I don't mean that it's any less for women or any less for men.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, as far as a man, like being the man of the house and the family.
Yeah, the breadwinner, yeah.
The breadwinner, yeah. And, like, just paint a very brief picture of how that was for you and how far down that you went in life.
The worst thing really was that I didn't know what was wrong with me. My nickname was Mr. Enthusiasm. I used to go down there to Sydney, go the nights and everything. We just won, we'd won the game against Manly with Paul Harrigan, the chief and all that sort of thing. And those days were spectacular. You know, I'd give Sydney hell, I really did. And so I was very lively, animated and everything. But over the years, I was, about 5 years into that career, 5 or 6 years into that career, and I just lost my mojo. I didn't want to get up in the morning. I felt in a dark place. I was always tired. I just didn't want to see people. You know, everything just, I was changed.
Did it happen, like, gradually?
Yes, yes, it was gradually.
So, in the end, you just thought, did you just go to yourself, what is really going on with me?
Well, I wrote a letter to my management once. I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep or something. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I sent an email to my sales manager and the CEO, the general manager, managing director of the company. And I said, I feel like I'm in a pit of crocodiles and there is no way for me to escape. Because what happens is you've got no control of your mind. You can't think, you can't make decisions, your head is very cloudy and you feel like a zombie, you know?
And you went to your doctor.
Yes.
And said, like, you told him what was wrong, what you felt was wrong with you.
Yep.
And did he ask you or something if you wanted to go on medication? Was that how it went?
This was a specialist I was referred to. The companies got me an appointment with a specialist. So he was a psychiatrist, and he said to me, oh, look, do you feel like you need medication? I sort of...
How are you supposed to know that?
Well, I didn't know what was wrong with me.
Isn't that why you went to him in the first place?
Well, he's the doctor, isn't he? He's the one who should be diagnosing me. But as a specialist, he didn't even diagnose me. So be careful if you seek help, because you may need to see several different people before somebody diagnoses you. I know some people are diagnosed with depression, but they might have, what's the other thing?
Underlying issues.
The bipolar.
Yeah.
Because my daughter had that. So, you know, you must be careful on your diagnosis. But anyway, when I saw my GP several years later after trying to, get my life back in order, I had to get a job because I was dismissed from the company eventually, so I had to,
Is that because of the depression? Like you were
yeah,
not
well, we didn't know, but I wasn't performing. No,
yeah.
I wasn't performing. And, that really hurt me because I was let go on something that I didn't know. But only years later, I saw my GP and he said, oh, you've got depression. He put me on medication, and within weeks, I thought, my God, I'm back to normal again. It was quite remarkable, the treatment. So
that's what, like that feeling that because for all those years you've gone to doctors and you tried to sort things out, and it was up to your wife to bring in the money for house. And
she still wasn't working then. And,
how did you manage?
I tell you what, I nearly filed for bankruptcy. That's how bad it got, because we had a loan with GE Finance, who would not, because they were the majority of the loan, they would not let us enter into, it was then a Part 9 agreement to file for bankruptcy. Westpac, St. George said, we're okay, we can do that, but because GE had the bulk of the loan, they wouldn't approve it. So then I was just about to sign when I applied for a position, or actually the manager of the company who knew me, we were reps together, he offered me a job. It was 6 months as a medical rep. I got myself back on my feet, and thank goodness for that. So I was then able to, because I got confidence in myself again, and I was able to get going. So
it's about not giving up, isn't it?
Oh no, you can't give up. You can't give up.
And I mean, when you've gone through depression,
yep,
or you think you may be in depression and you need to go to a doctor and you need to talk to other people about it.
Yep.
But the thing is, it's so hard to think that there's nothing really wrong, that, okay, you're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
That's an easy way out.
Sure.
But you can't keep having a bad day, like every single day of the week, every minute of your day.
Yeah.
And if it's affecting so many areas of your life, like you need to go, and I promote this all the time, you need to go and talk to someone.
Of course.
And don't let something like that get you down to that level where you're suicidal.
Yeah. I had suicidal thoughts, which really, I found Lifeline, and good on Lifeline. I have the highest of respect.
Yeah, I promote Lifeline too.
They do not give you advice, but they listen, and you get it off your chest. You talk to them, and they will give you some hints. Okay, well, are you experiencing this because of this? They will ask some questions and everything, but they do not give you medical advice, oh, you need to do this or whatever. They're only a counselling service. And I tell you what, I found them on 2 occasions, and I am very, very thankful for Lifeline, because once I'd spoken to them, somebody listened to me, somebody heard me, and I got her off my chest.
And
that was a big relief.
That's half the trouble, isn't it? I mean, you really have to
need
talk to someone. Yep. It's all about, everything in life is about communication.
Yeah.
You can't expect everyone, and I'm saying to you out there that's listening tonight, you can't expect everyone to be a mind reader.
No.
They don't know what's going on in your world.
No.
And a lot of the time, what we do is we get up, we get out there when we have to get out into the real world, and we're just pretense. We're just pretending that we're okay. No one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And you've got to get to that stage where you've got to have someone to talk to, and go to your doctor. Like, I'm always promoting the fact of communication is the key in every single situation.
Yeah.
And go and talk to someone. Go to your doctor. Like, the people out there are there to help you, because we don't want to be down and out. We don't want to be suicidal. We don't. There's no need.
You can't function.
No.
You can't function when you're in that state of mind. And unfortunately, one of the worst things with depression is you don't want to communicate with people. So it's a further stumbling block. And you literally have to shake yourself to say, look, I'm feeling so crap that I've got to do something about it. You have got to make a decision, a really important decision, to go and seek help. See a psychologist, talk to a family person, talk to a friend, talk to somebody who will hear you understand you and might say, right, let them make decisions for you because your mind is fuzzy and you can't. Let your friends or your family say, right, we're going to the doctor, we'll get this sorted out. And let them take the reins for you because you haven't got the reins.
You don't have to do it alone.
Oh no,
you know,
can't.
That's the thing. Well, that's it. You can't function on your own. You do need help. So it's okay to ask someone to help you.
Of course. Don't be afraid to ask. I mean, it's even worse if you don't ask. It's almost like the coward's way out. Oh no, I'll be okay. I'll get over it. No, you won't be okay. Thank goodness for Are You Okay Day. That's so important. You know?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Ask the question.
Yeah.
And they might just say, actually, I'm not okay. Geez, if we can save one life, we've done our job.
Yeah.
If we can save 10, 100.
The thing is, it's all right. It's all right to admit to the fact that you need help. It's okay to admit to the fact that you're not feeling okay. That's what life's about now. We're so more in tune with what our needs are, and and if you've got someone in your life and you haven't heard from for a while, ring them up and ask them if they're okay, if they need anything. Just do that. Do that one thing this coming week. Make one phone call to someone that you haven't heard from for a little while, and maybe they live on their own or whatever, but just make that one phone call in the next week. And what a difference you'll make to that person's life. Trust me on that one.
Another good thing to do is just call on your neighbours. Because we've got an elderly lady next door to us. Now, her daughters come very regularly and everything, so we know she is okay. But, some people are lonely. They're on their own. Let's keep in touch with them to say, hi, just popping over the fence to make sure you're okay. Oh, thank you. Have a bit of a chat, catch up.
And I mean,
it makes them feel wonderful.
And it's the old, story too, where someone has been found, and I've experienced this personally, that someone has been found 2 weeks after they've passed away in their unit.
Oh, I know.
Because there's been no one. They've had no one.
It's such a shame.
It is a shame. So, go and check on your neighbours, like you say, like Denton said tonight. So, we've talked about the depression side of things and, your life. And so then going from that, let's move forward to the heart attack and the triple bypass.
That's another story.
You had the symptoms.
Yeah.
And I believe you went to the doctor 6 days after.
Well, I had an appointment because what happened was I was doing cleaning for a client, and just going up and down the stairs, and I felt a little bit puffy and breathless, and I thought, I'm a bit out of whack. So anyway, I sat down, I had a breather, and in a 3-hour clean, I had to take 3 breaks because of sort of just funny sensation in the chest.
What did you think when that happened?
Well, I just thought I was unfit and tired and whatever. I didn't know, but I thought I'd better get this checked out. So when I got home, I phoned my doctor's surgery. This was Tuesday that this event took place. I could only get an appointment on the following Monday, and unfortunately there's a problem with doctors. They're so busy these days that you can't just get an appointment for today or tomorrow or whatever. They booked out days in advance. And had I known and said, look, I think it's a heart attack, they would have said go straight up to casualty.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so don't muck around with this stuff.
I didn't know. So anyway, come Thursday, I had to get up early one morning. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning to get up and go to the loo. And I went to the loo. I did a wee, if I can say that.
Oh, too late now, you said it.
It's the We Too movement, not the Me Too movement.
And don't worry, we've stuffed it up at the beginning with the camera anyway and all that. So, I mean, that's who we are.
Have a laugh on us. So anyway, I went to the toilet and I then go into the lounge and I go and have a look at the time on the microwave. I see at the time, and then I toddle off back to bed, and then I go back and sleep. But on this occasion, while I was walking, I felt really, really lightheaded, dizzy, giddy, probably all the same thing. And I just thought, wow. And I had the sensation in my chest, and I could feel myself getting very cold in the face. I was sweating. I was clammy, and I thought, this is not good. And I shouted out to my wife. I said, babe, I think you better call an ambulance because I don't think I'm too good. I made my way to the bedroom and she'd put the light on by then. She could see I was white like a sheet. Anyway, I lay in bed, and I was, cold. Well, we called for an ambulance. There was no ambulances nearby, so Belmont, Bullaroo, Charlestown, no ambulances. They were all out at that time of the morning. So one had to come from Hamilton. So that was half an hour later. Anyway, I saw this big light shining through the window.
You're lucky to be here. That's half an hour.
Yeah, I know.
And you're having a heart attack, basically.
Well, that's my SAS training, I reckon. Or being a Zimbabwean. There we go.
Wow.
Anyway, look, I'm a lucky one. I consider
Don't muck
myself
around with that.
No.
Like, if you've got any sort of symptoms, okay, you're better off going to the hospital, making a fool of yourself with heartburn.
Yeah, you won't make a fool of yourself.
But you know what I mean. You're better off going to the hospital and saying, I think I'm having a heart problem, and it only be heartburn.
Well,
than not even making it to the hospital alive.
Oh dear, oh dear.
You know, like just don't. I just can't believe you half an hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, it then took about half an hour for them to stabilise me, because I think they gave me an aspirin or something for angina. They took my blood pressure. Now, normal blood pressure is 120 over 80.
Yeah.
I was 60 over 40. So my blood pressure had dropped down to my feet. It was ridiculous. No wonder I was feeling so cold and clammy and everything. So they set up a drip, they stabilised me, got me into the ambulance, and off we chuffed. My wife came with in the ambulance, and we went off, and we said, John Hunter, isn't it? He said, oh yeah, we're not going to Belmont, because they knew how serious it was. I said, no, it's definitely John Hunter Casualty Emergency Department. So anyway, on we chuffed, and then of course, then it all started. And I had doctor after doctor after doctor examine me, because they start with a junior doctor, then it goes to a senior person, because they think, oh, this is more serious. Then it goes to someone senior, and so it went on. Anyway, I got to the top of the chain, and the senior doctor there said, right, look, yes, definitely a heart attack. We're going to admit you, but we've got to send you for an echocardiogram. So I went and had an echocardiogram, but because of my medical history, and also because I'm on the committee, the local health committee at John Hunter Hospital, I thought, wow, what an experience to find out how everything works.
Yeah.
Yes, I was alert, and I was watching and listening and talking.
So you're gathering research on the way when you should be just sick and
there you go.
being treated.
Well, that's my curiosity for you. The curiosity nearly killed the bloke from Zimbabwe. Anyway, so I had my angiogram, and I said to the doctor, radiographer, or whatever they are, who does it, I said, oh, there's a blockage. There's another blockage. There's another blockage. Well, I ended up having 5 blockages in 3 arteries.
Wow.
Yeah. So they said, look, we can't do stents, because you can't do a stent and then repair it. So you can't do bypass after a stent. So if we do bypass, that's the way to go. So anyway, I couldn't be
bypass.
Yeah, I couldn't be operated on that day or that week. So I stabilised me in hospital, sent me home for a week, got me back in, had a surgery, and then more problems started. Yeah, I didn't wake up from the anaesthetic. So they gave me 3 things. The first 2 didn't work, and the third one did. Then I had a bleed, so they had to open me up again after having sutured me up. So they woke me. They had the bleed before they woke me up. Then I had, I don't know, the stuff they give you, endone or something, this powerful painkiller. I had visual disturbance. I saw ants and things running around the place and spiders everywhere. It's crazy stuff. Don't go on that if you can avoid it. Anyway, one thing went after another. I developed severe infection in my chest, and apparently this is because you're not up and your lungs are not breathing, getting the oxygen going in through your lungs. So I developed massive infection, so I went on severe antibiotics. The food was not that good, let me put it that way. And because I was so drowsy with the drugs, I didn't want to eat the food, but whenever they brought food, I was fast asleep. I lost 10 kilos of weight.
Wow.
And I'm only 75 kilos? So I lost 10 kilos, I went down to 65. I do some voluntary work, and I do health promotion talks for older people, and one of the subjects is falls prevention. So in other words, we teach people how not to have a fall. Well, guess who had a fall in the hospital?
You didn't.
I did. So I felt so embarrassed because I didn't hurt myself, but I was embarrassed that because I teach falls prevention, I had a fall. Oh my God, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. The staff came running out. They got a harness for me to lift me up and put me back in bed, but I buggered up their stats because they hadn't had a fall in the hospital for 18 months. So I buggered up their stats. Oh my God, I tell you what. But here I am to tell the tale. So,
and I know that twice you died, physically stopped breathing, and they brought you back.
Yeah.
The third time you
Well,
survived.
this was to revive me after surgery.
Yeah. Wow, that's just crazy.
So I mean,
stuff.
you know, isn't
so
it?
you're here all the way from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You get here, all this happens to you.
You're not going to kill me with a stick.
No, you're still going, so you're still positive.
Yeah, very much so.
So each week I ask my guests to give a message of hope to someone out there. So there's someone out there that's, you know, maybe they're going through depression right now.
Yes.
There's someone out there that's just about to face triple bypass.
Yep.
There's someone out there that's just had a heart attack and maybe they've gone through it all.
Sure.
What would be your message of hope to those people? So just look in right there, now that we've got in the right position.
Yep.
And just a very quick message of hope to that person or persons watching the show.
All right. Look, first of all, if you think you've got a problem, get it checked out. There's no two ways about it. See a medical professional to get it checked out and certified. As Kelly said, you know, if you think you're having a heart attack but it's indigestion, it doesn't matter, okay? That's what the doctors are there for and that's what they get paid for. So seek help. Have faith in our medical system. Having been a medical representative many years ago, I used to call on the specialists. Our specialists have some of the highest skills in terms of international research and development. Some of our specialists are amazingly qualified people. You know, thank God for John Hunter Hospital. We are so lucky here in Newcastle to have John Hunter Hospital. Have every faith in them. Sure, mistakes happen, human error, people are tired, you know, things will go wrong. That is life. Nobody or anything is perfect. But please rest assured that everyone is doing their best to help you and get you to, you know, where you need to be. And I'm on the committee, and this is what we do. We look at statistics and data of what things happen, you know, so many falls. Okay, how do we prevent that? So then we implement strategies to minimize that. We look at why falls occurred, and we look at these sorts of things to rectify.
And you're part of those stats now.
Yeah. So now I'm on 3 committees. I was on the local health committee. I'm now on the falls prevention committee. And because the food was so crap, I made it my point. My slogan is to fix the food. And it is being fixed. Not just because of me, but it was in the pipeline. But I reiterated that, look, this food is terrible.
There's no stopping him, anyone.
Well,
and I did say a short message. Did I not say that?
I've got to tell people.
You're very Mr. Enthusiastic.
That's
all
it.
Right? So, you know, we do have to come to a close. I know it was a pretty bumpy start there, and you know, my darling Vince he might be absolutely amazing at any sort of engineering feat, but as far as cameraman and producer, I think we'll sack him this evening.
Oh, he's good looking though.
Yeah, well, you know, he kind of is. Yeah.
Show your face, Vince. They can
No.
see.
No.
How about a little finger? Oh, where is it?
No.
Oh, there it is. Little finger.
Okay, Vincent.
Listen.
So we've got.
Can I just say, if you guys need any more help or anything, contact Kelly and she'll pass messages on to me because I love helping people. I really do. So please, I'm very, very sincere about tonight. You know, I'm here to help you. So in any way I can, please utilise my knowledge and skills here.
And I mean, pass it on. Please go to onthecouchwithkelly.com. You'll be able to watch all the previous shows. You can go to YouTube and watch all the shows on The Couch with Kelly on YouTube. You can leave some comments. You can contact me through the website onthecouchwithkelly.com. There's emails, phone numbers, everything like that. You can leave little comments. And like I said, just make sure you share tonight's show, every other show you watch, and spread the word. And if you're interested in coming on the show and you know someone that's got a great story to tell, or they want to share their story, or you want to share yours, contact me. So I just want to let everybody know that no matter what in life, never give up.
No.
Don't give up no matter what in life, and know that, you know, you are going to be okay and you will get through it. So tonight I say, you know what? You're going to be okay. Thumbs up.
Yeah,
Denton.
definitely okay.
Thumbs up. Oh, thumbs up from that wonderful engineer.
Good on you guys. Thanks for listening.